Once again, YouTube family, today I'm going to be doing part 1 of What If Luffy Became a Marine. I know what y'all are saying. Why is she doing so many One Piece What Ifs? It's because I just got back into watching it. Come on, man. Let me go through my phase. So basically, let's get into this What If. And again, this is part 1 of What If Luffy Became a Marine. I know it says part 3. This is a photo that I got from a YouTuber. So, we start off this video with Luffy, Ace, and Sato playing. Luffy says, ha ha ha. No, Ace and Sato say, we are the captains. As then they say, we are gonna sail the seas and become the pirate kings. Sato says, great adventures. Luffy then gets on a pedestal as he has a tiny marine jacket that his grandfather gave him. Ha ha ha! I am Marine Monkey D. Luffy, aka Straw Hat Luffy, and you pirates are in my way. So now I'm going to arrest you. As Luffy rushes at Sato and Ace, he jumps in the air as he says, "Gum gum machine! No, gum gum pistol!" As he punches Ace in the face. Then he falls to the ground and he kicks Sato in the gut with an extended kick. He then says, "Look at you! Marines always win. Pirates always lose. Can't you see that?" As then Garp, he's up in a tree looking at Luffy. You will become the strongest Marine. Monkey D. Luffy. We have a time skip as Luffy is sailing the seas. He's Marine and no. He's a Chief Petty Officer. What's this picture? Oh yeah, that's the same What If. And so is that one. Okay, oh shoot. So basically, I got that for a picture to send to my friend. Yeah, I have a lot of explaining to do. I'm not gay, don't put me in a freaking pile of work. Dub under maintenance fix. We're working on fixing dub animes. Finally! Okay. So, Luffy then asks his partner, kind of first mate, his first recruit, Nami and Zoro. He asked them, "So, what do you think? Are there any pirates? Are there any pirates, Zoro?" Not that I can see." And then they say, "Let's head over to this little town." When they get there, they're walking through the streets. As they see a giant cannon, they say, "Ha ha ha! If it isn't Buggy the Clown." Luffy then explains the plan to Nami and Zoro as they jump in the air from building to building. They say, "Don't you know, pirates aren't allowed when I'm around." It's Luffy the pirate. It's Luffy the Marine. Straw Hat Luffy. Yeah, it's me. As Luffy then says, "This is gonna be real easy," as he extends his arm and says, "Gum gum pistol!" And he punches Buggy right in his nose. And then he grabs Buggy, he throws him in his cage. He says, "Zoro, you deal with the rest." Nami, take this back to the ship. And yes, Luffy does have his own, officers. They're just randoms. As Nami's dragging Boogie's cage to the ship. Zoro then says, "You can go, boss. I'll deal with this one." Zoro then rushes at all of them, slicing all of them. What the heck? Okay, cutting all of them as they all fall to the ground. Should have chose a different sport. All you pirates are an injustice. As then Luffy jumps to the ground. He says, "Ugh, you reliant little bum." As he yells, "Gum Gum Bazooka!" And he punches both the lion and its owner as he locks them up, as he's dragging them to the ship. He sees Nami. As Nami says, "What took y'all so long?" "What are you talking about? We got here in record time." Record time is not enough. We're going to switch to the Arlong arc. In this one, I'm going to say that they've already recruited Sanji and Usopp. Usopp isn't as scared anymore. Usopp does not have any favorites, okay? Sanji is still a pervert. He then says, "Hey, ugly." As Arlong then looks at him in rage. He asks, what did you say to me?" "I said that you're ugly." As then he says, "Go to hell, kid." As then Usopp fires a bullet explosion at Arlong. It hits Arlong right in the eye. Arlong can't see out of one eye. As he then says, "Well, who's the dumb one now?" Arlong's about to get up, and his men are rushing at Luffy. But then Luffy says, "Conqueror's Haki." As then all of the men fall on the ground. Luffy asks, "Hey, what happened to them?" As Luffy then does his, what's it called? The hockey that Garp uses? As he punches Arlong in the face, breaking a few of his teeth. Then he runs at Arlong. He yells, "Second gear! Hockey demoted!" And he says, "Benevolent Hulk smash!" As he smashes Arlong in the face, as Arlong's face creates a ginormous crater in the ground. Arlong's down. Arlong's down. "Hey, you few petty officers, come deal with Arlong." Okay. At this point, I actually do not know what the officers really are. So I'm going to look it up on Google. What are the rankings for the top officers?
Here is information from federalpay.org.
General officer, General Army officer, Army enlisted officer. Oh my gosh, I'm doing real U.S. Army officers. In One Piece, what are the rankings for Marines?
Here's a summary from One Piece fan page. Marine ranking system in One Piece. D. Oda. This is it. Fleet Admiral is the highest Marine rank and is the commander of the entire organization. Admiral is the second highest rank in the Marines. And more.
Admiral. Okay. Yeah, I gotta look in his little skip. God, this thing's blurry as heck, bro. Let's see. What rank is Smoker?
Here's a summary from CBR. One of the former captains of the Marines, Smoker was promoted to the rank of Vice Admiral.
Okay, Luffy is an admiral. Now, I don't know how good that is, but it's okay. So there's Fleet Admiral, then there's Admiral, Vice Admiral, Captain. So basically, let me screenshot this. Okay. Luffy is a, let's see. At this point, Luffy is a captain. No, he's a vice admiral. So Luffy is down walking to the Grand Line. As Nami says, so, what's the point of coming over to the Grand Line? There's some business I have with someone. As Luffy then gets to Smoker, he says, "Hey Smoker, long time no see." "Oh, Captain Luffy. So, I've come to ask you. You want to join my crew?" "Join your crew? What do you have going on? A pirate crew?" "No. So, we work like pirates just for justice. But we're Marines." Hmm. "Sorry, but I have to protect. I already have it." "What?" "This country might be under your protection. But don't worry. I have another captain coming on the way. His name is Igayashi D. Tonka." Now, this person is legitimately strong. He's not a real person in the One Piece. But yeah. So Igayashi, you're gonna watch over this country. Couldn't have said it better. So basically, Igayashi is actually a admiral, but he's Luffy's guard. So he does what Luffy says. So basically, they're at the level, like, his power is manipulation of water. He can turn himself into water. He can be water. He can do anything containing water. Luffy then asks, "So, will you join my crew, Smoker?" And Smoker then looks at the little girl. She nods her head. "You can go." As he says, "Yeah, I'll join your crew." Okay. Okay, now let's go. As they then set off to the Grand Line. At this point, they already met Chopper, because they already dealt with the pirates and the evilness. We head to the ginormous war. They have everybody they have in the original. You have Nico Robin. She actually became a Marine now. So, oh, Luffy is now what did I say he was? A Vice Admiral. He was a Vice Admiral, now he's a Fleet Admiral, and he is strong, bro. When I'm talking about strong, he's as strong as he was in chapter 500 something something. Or episode 500 something something. Luffy then sits with the 4 admirals. As at this time, Smoker is a admiral. Zoro is an admiral. What's her name? Nami is a captain. Usopp is a vice admiral. Sanji is a vice admiral. Chopper is a vice admiral. Robin is a vice admiral. Duh. And Oh no, not Chopper. Frankie is a admiral. Zoro's an admiral too. So yeah. Then acts. These foolish pirates. They come out here and act like they can rule the place. As Luffy then walks onto the battlefield, they say, "It's legendary Captain Luffy, Straw Hat Luffy. He's known to be on par with with the four Yonko of the sea, and he's known to be able to beat every warlord. He's even on par with Shanks." As Luffy then looks at Whitebeard, he says, "Whitebeard, as much as I hate to do this, as much as I hate to see my brother die, I'd rather have my brother die than live this foolish irony of a pirate life. I want to see him fulfill his dreams, but not even you can stop me." As he then looks down at Luffy, he says, "Well, we won't know that until I beat you." As then they both rush at each other. Luffy is using third gear as he clashes fist to spear or whatever Whitebeard's holding. No, fist to fist with Whitebeard. This is keeping Whitebeard on par as they both go flying back. Luffy is now small. He says, "You might think because I'm tiny or small as a toddler that I'm weak, but this just increases my speed tenfold." As Luffy says, "Second gear," as he's barraging Whitebeard with a new attack I called Gum Gum Super Fire Fist Mirage. As he's punching Whitebeard, Whitebeard is coughing out blood, and then Luffy transforms back into his regular form. As he goes into that that form where both of his arms become strong, his body gets bigger, he becomes more ripped and stuff like that, and hockey is around his arm. Yeah, that form. As he then yells, "Gum Gum Bazooka!" and he punches Whitebeard in the back. We can it was so quiet that we could hear a entire crack. We hear as Whitebeard comes falling to the ground, right on his back. Ace yells, "No!" As Luffy smirks. This is the legendary pirate, the legendary Whitebeard. Well, I'm dead. If this is how strong he is, then I must be part of the world government. As Luffy says, "You're an admiral fighter and you're a legend. But today is the day you see fit to justice." As Luffy then yells, "Third gear!" and he punches Whitebeard in the head. He again and again and again and again. As he says, "I hope you've learned your lesson, oh great legend Whitebeard." And then he says, "We're done. This war is over." As they say, "Not a chance." As then Luffy uses a little bit of his Conqueror's Haki as he says, "This war is over." As they then apply and they say, "Yes. Let's go get Whitebeard. Yes, you can take your Whitebeard." Oh, this is way wrong. As Luffy then says, "Yes, you can take him. He doesn't deserve to die. Proceed with the execution." As then Luffy then feels a ginormous punch in his back. As he goes flying into the wall. He says, "That was so fast, I let my guard down." He then sees Whitebeard. "Boy, you dare talk down to me like you're stronger." As Luffy looks at Whitebeard, he then goes into his giant bubble phase with Haki, surrounded around him, and he's buffed, and you know what I'm talking about. The big buff stage where his arms get bigger, both of his arms get bigger, his body turns into a bubble, his feet get stronger, kind of, and then you can see abs on his tummy, even though he's ginormous. He then says, "I'll go full fleet with you," as he rushes at, what's his name? As he codes his arm in a Haki, as he yells, "This is to teach you never to mess with the Marines!" As Whitebeard uses his strongest earthquake attack, Luffy takes this to the gut, which sends a tremor down his belly. But then he widened out his arms, and then he pulls them together and he smashes Whitebeard on both sides of his head. Then he does it again and again. Whitebeard is punching Luffy in the gut at full strength, while Luffy keeps doing it. He then falls to the ground, but he barely gets back up with shaking legs. Whitebeard holds up his scythe, I'm just going to call it scythe, as he's throwing it down at Luffy. But then, all of a sudden, we see a ginormous lava hole hand through his chest. "Kid, you're still not stronger than Whitebeard. You fool. Not even you could defeat him." As Whitebeard then turns around and he slaps Akainu in the face, sending him flying. But he let his guard down on Luffy, as Luffy punches Whitebeard in the face. As Whitebeard drops on the ground. Whitebeard created a ginormous crack in the ground, but Luffy says, "Ha, so this is going to be your grave, isn't it?" As then he says, "Crew, all members, Zoro, Nami, Sanji, Chopper, Frankie, Robin, who else? Usopp." All of his crew then comes, as they're all behind him, and their respective swordsmen fight. Zoro is as strong as he's in canon right now. When they go to the fishermen, they're all as strong as they are in canon when they go to the fishermen, except for Luffy. Luffy's as strong as he is at the end of the series right now. As they then say, "It's time." As they yell, "Full power, fifth formation!" As they all use their trump cards, as they rush at Whitebeard. It's a gruesome sight to see what they do. Zoro chops off Whitebeard's arm. Usopp shoots Whitebeard through his heart and through his chest. Nami shocks Whitebeard. Frankie punches Whitebeard. No, Frankie, you blast Whitebeard away with the ginormous punch. As then, Luffy then bites on his thumb as he gets his entire arm bulky, and he punches Whitebeard in the back, shattering Whitebeard's spine. Chopper then gets both of her arms stronger as she does a barrage of punches on Whitebeard's chest. Sanji kicks Whitebeard in his neck, breaking his neck. And I think that's all of them. Oh no, Robin punches Whitebeard. Whatever she does, I don't really care. As then, Whitebeard is standing, but it's a gruesome sight to see. They dare do that to the old man. As Luffy then knocks out all of the pirates. He says, "This could have been avoided, Whitebeard. You know that, right? Oh wait, you're dead." As Luffy then touches Whitebeard as Whitebeard falls to the ground, creating a big boo. He created his own grave, men and women, so let's put him in his own grave. As then Shanks comes. Luffy, listen. Be reasonable. Let us have Whitebeard's corpse. As Ace is already dead. No, Ace isn't dead. He sees this gruesome sight as he breaks his chains and he rushes at Luffy. Almost getting a punch on Luffy, but then he gets kicked in the gut by Sanji. He falls holding his gut. He says, "You monster, how could you do this to him?" It's justice. You chose the wrong path. He's truly a legend. But when it comes all down to it, that's how life is. As then he says, "Zoro, now." As Zoro stabs, what's his name? Ace to the chest, through both of his chests. Ace falls on the ground with two swords. Then he says, "I forgot the third one." But Luffy, stop. Luffy says, "Stop. You have done enough." As Sengoku then reasons with Shanks and he says, "Yes, you can. Shanks, I'm coming for you next. I'll be waiting. And tell your buddies, the four Yonko. Or, yeah. Tell your Yonko buddies." There's no way in hell that they can escape my wrath. As Luffy and the entire Straw Hat crew then walk away. Luffy then goes to Garp as he says, "Do you think what I did was right, Do you think what I did was right, grandfather?" It's not the best situation and the best ideal. Could have just locked him up. You would have gave him the world's government. He would have had the death sentence. But at least the death sentence wouldn't be so cruel. You know the world government can't kill him by putting him in a chair and shocking him. Neither can they by stabbing him. He didn't deserve a gruesome death, but if we didn't give him a gruesome death, he would have killed us. We then go to the world government. As they all see the world government, they say, "What? Whoa, it's the world government." The world government says, "We want a promotion." So everybody is promoted to vice admiral, while Luffy is promoted to world government, world leaders higher than Marines. Luffy is promoted to the world government. As Nami, she's promoted to vice admiral. Everybody else in the crew's fleet admiral. Nami is promoted to vice admiral. It's my water bottle. Okay, there's no need. As what's her name? Robin is promoted to fleet admiral. Yeah. Chopper's promoted to Admiral. As this is where I'm going to be ending this off. No, I'm not going to end it off right here. They hear the news about Luffy being promoted to the world government. The world government. Isn't that like above the Yonko? No. Aren't they, like the same as the Yonko? Maybe. Do you think Monkey D. Luffy was a little bit too gruesome? Was a little bit too gruesome? Yeah, kinda. As we skip over to Zoro. Zoro asks Hawkeye Mihawk if he can train under him. Hawkeye asks, no. Hawkeye tells Zoro, you cannot train under me. I'm number 1 in the world, and you're number 2 in the world. You need to surpass me on your own means. And plus, don't think that I won't be training. I'll get stronger. As Zoro then says, I just forgot. Let's fight. Right here, right now. Zoro pulls out all 3 of his swords, and Hawkeye does the same. They then rush at each other at full speed. Zoro clashing his mouth blade with Hawkeye's blade. As then Zoro says, forgot the other 2. As then Mihawk's like, dang, I'm toast. And Zoro says, Shunpanyai! As all of a sudden, Mihawk has been clashed by the blade. This is, being on live TV. As Mihawk falls on the ground, Zoro puts one of his swords to Mihawk's throat, and the others to Mihawk's chest and Pachulia. He then says, I'm the new number 1. As this was not being recorded on live TV. Sorry. Rumors have been going out that Zoro beat Hawkeye Mihawk. Wouldn't that make him the strongest swordsman in the world? He deserves it. He might be the strongest swordsman in history. On the ranking list. Zoro. Second strongest swordsman in the world. Behind Goldie Rogers. This is where I'm going to be ending off this what if. Like, comment, subscribe. Sorry if I our social media platforms. Everybody, give me some heat. Thank you for 47. Let's get to 50, baby!